we gonna have a good time and keep you in the know. Let all your trouble go. In the know, in the know, in the know. In the know, in the know, in the know. In the know, in the know, in the know.
Happy Saturday, everybody, and welcome to the In the Know radio show with your girl, Michellita Taylor. Thank you so much for joining me. Listen, I don't think it's just me, but when I tell you the time is not waiting for anybody, listen, it's already January 18th. We are halfway, more than halfway, through this month. So make sure that you are doing things with intention. Make sure that you are being present every single day, that you're making a decision that every day you wake up, it's going to be a great day. And so hopefully I'll be able to contribute to that great day today with our show and our segment. And every single Saturday, I'm so honored and blessed to have the guests that come into our show to inspire us, to inform us, and have a little bit of entertainment. You know, we got to have the kiki moments too on the show, and I'm excited to have that today. But listen, it is MLK weekend. We just want to honor Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Thank you for your sacrifice, sir, up in heaven as you're rejoicing and receiving a reward. And we also celebrate every person who was doing something this week to pay homage to him. We do know that our incredible parade was postponed this coming Monday because of the weather, but we are excited to celebrate in a couple of weeks in this beautiful city of Jacksonville, Florida. But listen, if you are not tuning in on the radio station, AM 1360, FM 94.7, you better be tuned in on the app. If you don't have the app, listen, I need you to stop right now and download it. And the next thing you need to tell a friend, turn to your neighbor and say, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. Download the Victory Station app. So that way you don't miss any of the incredible broadcasts that are brought to you all through the week, 24 hours a day. But on today and during this hour, I have an incredible guest. I've been stalking her just a little bit on the sidelines on social media, you know, seeing what she's doing. Beautiful queen, doing all the things, empowering women throughout our city. And I thought it would be so fitting during this time of year. It's still the beginning of the year. Many people are still making decisions on goals or resolutions and things that they want to change and really shift the trajectory of their lives. But they need a little bit of support. They need some insight. And I said, you know what? I think this woman is going to be able to help the audience today look at things a little bit differently and let you know that it's not too late. Yep, it's January 18th, but it's not too late to make that decision. Put your goals from pen to paper, and that way you can go ahead and start seeing some of that progress through this 2025 year. So, without further ado, Tiffany Rene is a resilience and growth expert. She is an international speaker, life coach, and author. Tiffany's mission is to transform lives by empowering women to exchange their pain for purpose, radiate confidence, grow and thrive in every area of their lives. Tiffany has a bachelor's degree in social work, is a state certified behavioral health counselor, and is a qualified mental health professional. She is the founder and executive director of a nonprofit organization, H.E.A.R.T Foundation, Inc., which provides restorative services to women and preventative services to adolescent girls. Since its inception, they have impacted over 3,000 women. Tiffany has been coaching and counseling women since 2009, and throughout her professional journey, she has become an expert in helping women overcome life trials. Throughout her personal journey, she has triumphed and overcome despite the abuse, trials, and trauma she endured. Tiffany Rene is here to empower. Give it up wherever you are for, I'm going to say it in advance, Dr. Tiffany Rene. That sounded good, didn't it?
It sure did.
I felt that in my spirit. I felt like there was going to be a doctor added to that, a doctorate added to this. But thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
It is an honor to meet you in the flesh. Like I said, I've been kind of stalking you just a little bit here and there, looking at the things that you've been doing for women throughout our community and throughout the nation. And it's very inspiring. And I'm going to give you your flowers now and say thank you for saying yes. We talked about that off air.
Yes.
Saying yes to the call, what God has called you to do. Saying yes despite those mornings that come and you're just not feeling it.
Right.
But you know what? I need to be a person in the chair. I need to be on the couch today. Can I flip the script? Be that person. I need the inspiration and encouragement But despite that, you still decide to wake up every morning and you say, Lord, what would you have me to do today?
Yes.
And so, thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
How you feeling?
I just feel so blessed. I feel honored. Oh, sorry. I feel it's an honor to get up and do what God's called me to do.
Yeah.
It's an honor to be able to walk in purpose. So many people just go throughout the day, their lives, day to day, doing the same mundane things, and it has nothing to do with their purpose. And they're just like, hey, I gotta make $1. I get to profit from doing what God's called me to do. I get to, and the profit that I really get is internally way more than, the financial. It's just, it feels so good when you talk to somebody or you're working with a client and you see the light cut on.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh.
Yeah.
It worked.
It's that intrinsic reward. I know exactly what you mean. You're like, okay, we're working. And now you see they get it. It's like, oh, there's that sweet spot. There is exactly what it is that I've been waiting to see in you, and they can see it in themselves as well. That is awesome. Tell us, where are you from?
Everywhere.
She's international, y'all. She is it for real. She's really international.
Yeah, so my entire family's from Trinidad and Tobago. And
there it is. Say it again. I heard it. Say it again. Trinidad and Tobago.
Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes.
And I was actually born in Toronto, Canada. So a lot of my family moved from Trinidad to Canada. And then when I was 5, we moved to the States. We moved to Florida.
Okay. All right. And you've been in Jacksonville, Florida for about 3 years.
Yeah, 3.5, 4 years.
Okay.
I've been here.
All right. And where did you go to school?
Florida A&M University. Well, let me start over.
I was about to say.
Illustrious Florida A&M University.
Because, all the rattlers at them like, we need to run it back.
Run it back.
We need to run it back and give a little, I love and respect all my family friends. Y'all are incredible. Always game changers. I tell you, that university has produced some of the most incredible, impactful people. And again, here in our city, we're so blessed and a bit spoiled too, I think, just because we have so many products of that university. I mean, you guys don't sit on the sideline. You get your feet dirty, your hands dirty, and you're like, let's do the work. And that's exactly what you've been doing. So tell us, what is it that inspired you to get into this field? Because it's not easy. I mean, I can recall a time when I was in college and I considered psychology and then child psychology, and I was like, oh, I don't want to be crazy. Because, they say people who work with people that need mental work, they themselves sometimes will adapt to that behavior, which is a lie. So it's a lie for those of you who want to be psychologists. But what is it that kind of inspired you, prompted you to go into this field?
It actually started in high school. It just started off a little different. I was like, I just seeing so many people suffering from different things. It kind of was like, okay, I want to go to school. I'm going to be a civil rights attorney, and I'm going to be the voice for the voiceless. I remember saying that. And I started taking the classes, and I was like, oh, no.
That's not it.
Law school, that ain't for me. And then I had 3 additional years after this. No, we can't do it. And so I stumbled upon social work, and I was like, wow, I can still help people. I can pour into people, empower people, and take them on a journey, whether they're in their position because of something that they did or something that was done to them. I can help them, give them the resources they need, and bring them to where they want to be in life. So that is where it started.
I love that. Now, did you already know what population you wanted to work in, or was there something that may have happened to say, this is who I want to hone in on? I want to work with just women.
I would say my early years starting in ministry, that's where it started. Okay. It didn't matter if I was at the store or whatever. I was always drawing women. Yeah. Women I did not know, they would just come to me and start telling me their life story. And I'd be like, okay, well, this is what I'm led to, tell you. Well, have you ever thought about this? And as a therapist, a life coach, it's all about perspective. Yeah. A lot of times we connect with our friends and our family. We all are used to seeing things a certain way. Right. And so when you get help, when you connect with a mentor or something, they're going to pull things out of you didn't realize were in you. Yeah. That's why it's so important to tap in with someone that you may not know. And they'll be like, well, have you ever thought about this? And it's like, oh my God. Yeah. That light bulb again. Yes. It's like, I didn't see it in that room. It was dark in that room, but now this light is on. Now I can see the side that you're illuminating right now. Yes. Wow, that is awesome. So you mentioned church. So you had some time of leadership, I assume, in church that in some ways kind of bridged
I guess a secular sense of working in the social work field, but then the ministry side. How do you see how those two areas were able to intersect?
That is a really good question. Back then, because I was really young when I was in ministry, when I was a youth pastor, I was on the praise dance ministry. I was just everything like with the youth and kind of mentoring and counseling young women and everything. So it was very similar because I was able to use practical tools that I'm gaining knowledge of through experience in my education along with spiritual. Yeah. So that's, even to this day, I still use both of them together. That faith plus works. Yes. So I believe God is going to do this for me. These are the steps that I can take to get there. Right. So merging those together, oh my gosh, you become a powerhouse.
Yes. That's how chains are broken.
Yes, exactly.
People are free. Now, whenever you're working with your particular clientele, are you considered a Christian counselor, or is it based on the clients that you receive? Because I'm in the presence of as a fellow entrepreneur here. Yes. Okay, this was something that was not included in the bio that was given to me. Sis has her own practice, and what's the name of it again?
H.E.A.R.T Empower Enterprises.
Your enterprises. Okay, so you already know there's a lot of things that go into enterprises. Exactly. But whenever you are providing those services, do you kind of get to base maybe on a profile, determine what type of client that you're going to have, and then you're able to kind of create, whatever that plan may be for them and integrate faith? Because I know some people are like, I don't want a Christian counselor, but even as a believer, we're still able to stand in our own truth without using the language that may say, well, based on the Bible, but some of the same principles are still being able to be, applied to their situation.
And that's exactly how I do it. So when I start with a life coaching client, we go through a deep dive session. So the first session, I'm asking questions from your childhood all the way up to now, so I can find out exactly what has been hindering you. Exactly. I need to know the root of what's going on in order to help you get through that. And so, it depends on, I don't label myself as a Christian life coach, but this is ministry at the end of the day. It's just marketplace ministry. And so I try to use wisdom with my clients. I don't want to force the Lord on them. If they're not interested in that, that's fine. Jesus spoke in parables.
That's right.
And so I don't have to say Matthew 6 chapter, this is what this, no. I can just say, well, there's a story about a farmer that had, you know what I mean?
Yes,
and then that same information we can use practically.
Yeah, I love that. And we do the same thing too. As believers, we're able to, with wisdom and common sense too, adapt a lot of things that we, through different cultures, through different vocations, through different artists, through different actors, things that they say that may not be biblically based, but they're so practical in the sense of the world that we live in and how we're relating with other people. We're able to even apply those types of things. So I guess it goes on both sides. What would you say is your driving passion as you continue to work in this way?
I would say my deliverance. My deliverance, what God did for me, Him leaving the 99 for me. Yeah. I will never get over that because, like I said, I started off in the church, but then I went all the way to the left. I mean, all the way.
Was there something that caused that shift for you to go left? Because, again, we had a little bit of conversation off air. It was so good. We talked about our faith and how we're just so grateful for the Lord, which we are. Yes. But we're in fleshly bodies and we're in the world. So was there something that caused you to say, you know what, I'm done with this church stuff. I need to see what's out there. This isn't feeding or fueling me. What are the other alternatives? Was there something that kind of triggered that?
Yeah. A few things.
Let's talk about it. Let's get in the know. We want to know. Don't y'all want to know? We want to know.
So I would say, again, I was really deep in ministry in church, and then I started noticing things that were not of God that were going on.
In the church.
My
Lord.
And I just remember one Sunday teaching the youth something about turning the other cheek and what that means. And then the pastor getting up And I think he was drunk, I ain't gonna lie.
Oh my Father.
Getting up and saying, I ain't turning the other cheek. I'm going to open up a can of whoop.
Oh,
If somebody does, and then my youth looking at me like, see?
Oh, wow.
And I was like, wow.
Oh, wow.
The people are being deceived. And then I found out some more crooked things that were going on. So I was like, man, this ain't real. Like, and then at the same time, I was going through a divorce. So I've got trauma in church. I've got trauma in my home. Yeah. I felt betrayed. I felt like none of this is even working. So you know what I'm going to do? Yeah. I'm going to put that on ice. Yeah. I'm going to go do my thing, find out who I am, because my identity was wrapped up in being with this man. My identity was wrapped up in who I was in the church. And then all that broke apart. It's just like, who am I? Let me go figure it out. I'm going to do my thing for now, because
I'm sitting here a little shocked. I wasn't expecting it to be that. Because sometimes we can have other external things that would cause us to want to explore things in the world. But man, when it's something in the church that drives you away from the very place that we're to be able to be, you know, receivers of clear instruction, which really kind of, you know, makes us know it's so important to have that personal relationship with God, which I can see that was probably where the transition happened for you.
That is vital.
Yeah.
And so I just started doing my own thing, started clubbing, started getting into, you know, started a whole business, you know, selling costumes for Caribbean carnivals and, you know, still trying to empower women in a way. I was like, I got a costume for whatever body type. Like, I got you, you're going to look good. And I mean, it was successful and everything. I mean, I was out there wearing floss though. Like, I had to go from being in ministry to being all the way outside. Outside. And then I was just in a cycle, relationship after relationship, keep getting hurt in some kind of way, whether it's physical abuse or extensive like infidelity and just things. I just kept going through things over and over and over and over until the last relationship that almost took me out. Wow. It almost took me out, and that's what led me back to the cross. It forced me to get on my face, because I was contemplating, like, should I even still continue to live? Why am I here? Why am I still living? I'm a failure to my kids. I brought another man around my kids that's not going to stay around. I'm having to move again. I'm starting over all over again. Why am I even here?
But to know that you knew, even after all of that, to go back to the cross says so much. And I can't, you know, run over the fact that you said even when you were doing your business and you were still trying to empower women through that, it just goes to show how when God's hand is on you, it doesn't matter how far you go and how long you stay. He's like, that's okay. He'll be back. And I'll be right here waiting for you. And everything that I had planned and ordained for you to do and be is still going to be right there. And like we talked about, it's not wasted.
It's not wasted.
So what was that moment like when you said, you know what, I'm done with this. It's time to go home?
I would say I felt the last carnival I did, all of a sudden I just felt like this intense loneliness. I was still trying to break the soul tie, break away from the last relationship that had me contemplating suicide. I was having panic attacks, everything. It was really bad. And I was like, I just feel so lonely. I just feel like everyone around me, they were benefiting from what I was doing, and they were just, I don't know. It's
almost just benefiting from your brokenness. Like.
Yes. Because I had so many best friends. I had a huge friend group. Woo, when I fell on my face and went back to God, that circle is gone. Wow. So small. It's not even funny. I can't even tell you how many friendships I lost. Wow. But yeah, they were benefiting from my brokenness. I was the hype girl in the club. I mean, people wouldn't even go out unless I was going out. Like, that's how hype I was.
Yeah, you were that girl.
Yeah.
I am that girl.
Yes, they knew they were rolling with me. We drinking for free. We getting in for free. They know how I operated. So. And so, when I stopped wanting to go out, when I stopped, those friendships change. And then you see, well, was this even really a friendship? So
that's the awakening part.
Yeah.
That is the awakening, and that's the shaking too. And it's something that, and you probably can echo this too, there is an appreciation along the way that you have for that. Because we don't know what God is doing in our life, and He knows who needs to be a part of the doing in your life. And so He said, you know what? Let me go ahead and shake this up, because they're not supposed to go with her anyway
at all
for where she's going after this
sometimes
season.
It's hard for us to understand that, especially for me. I have a very loving personality, and it's like I just want to hold you and come on, we got this. If I'm going here, girl, I'm bringing you too. And everybody's like, girl, I ain't trying to go there with you.
I'm trying to stay in the club.
You know what I mean? And there is grief that comes from that.
Yeah.
But again, that grief was something that led me to God. Like, Lord, I'm losing these people. You know, and He told me Himself, like, okay, you're going to say, yeah, put that business down.
Ooh.
And for an entrepreneur,
you got to be tested.
To put something down that's making you money, that you find your identity in, that's got you popular. I got so popular when I was living in Charlotte doing that. Everybody knew me. Everybody wanted me to do their parties, do their events. I was putting on concerts. Flying artists in from Trinidad. Like, this wasn't no small business.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And I was like, at that point, I was so broken. I was like, listen, me trying to continue in my way, that's got me here.
It's not gonna work.
It's not gonna work.
Yeah.
So you know what? Let me try it, team.
Yeah.
Let me listen to what you're saying.
Yeah.
And just try it.
And the enemy, he's so crafty. He makes things seem so good, so comfortable, so safe and secure, and you're bound. Like, it's truly a level of bondage that you don't even see that you're in until you get out. You're like, oh my God.
Yes.
Granted, there was seemingly profit and reward, but at the expense of my freedom. And when you come into that freedom, you're like, wow, thank you, Lord, for allowing me to see that, which leads me to one of your songs. Of course, y'all know I have my guests to give me some inspirational songs that really speak to them and really help them when they're transitioning along the way. And one of the songs is from Jubilee Worship entitled No Bondage.
Yes.
Why is that one of your go-tos?
Oh, that song is like the main theme song when I promote my book, This is Freedom, because bondage has been a part of my life for so long. And every woman I come across, whatever it is that you're going through, whatever is hindering you from your next level, that is bondage. It's little things that we don't think keep us bound, like people pleasing. We don't realize how much of a people pleaser we are and how that affects our life, how that affects us from going forward. We're so concerned putting people above our own selves. We don't invest in ourselves.
Right.
We don't, try to get to another level because we're fine here. I'm just going to push you and help you get there. Yes. And those same people probably wouldn't do half of the things
that you're doing
you're doing for them.
So true.
And then we're too scared to bring it up like, hey, your birthday came and I did all this stuff. My birthday came. I didn't even get a call, and now I'm scared to bring it up because if I do, you're going to leave me. Right. You're not going to want to be with me. So I'm just going to internalize this.
And they're not even really there anyway.
Yeah. I'm suffering internally. Yeah. Because I'm not telling you the things that bother me, the things I wish you would do for me. Yeah. I'm expecting a me out of you, and you never signed up for that.
That's right. That's right. So enjoy this song and then a quick commercial break. No Bondage by Jubilee Worship. I love this song. Oh man. Gosh, when is your birthday?
January 2nd.
January 2nd. Oh, it was my birthday.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness. So do you have kids?
I do have 3 kids.
You do? What are the ages?
13, 12, and 8.
Okay. You got that mid-age. I'm behind you. Way behind you. I just turned 3.5 this 2 days ago. And I'm just like, I can't believe it. It's going so fast. And I know you know what I'm talking about.
It goes so fast.
I'm just like, every day.
And you notice it the older they get and the phrases they're saying and stuff. I'm like, how do you know
and
that?
And the behaviors that they're doing. Hey, Jada Boo. Thank you for watching. Hey, Tam Tam. Hey, Miss Goldie and Mama. I missed you. Hey, Chris. What's up? I know you at the gym. And I'm going to be calling you for my session. I'm ready. I'm ready for the boutique fitness, okay? I'm ready to come and get the work in. Oh, goodness. So after the break, we're going to talk about goals versus resolutions.
Okay.
Just kind of what your take is on that. And then maybe some of the, advice that you give to some of your clients or even your friends.
Okay.
On what that looks like. I know for me, it was goals.
Yeah.
Like I used to do resolutions, but found they were so frivolous and just, there was nothing tied to it.
No.
But to
you don't
really
put objectives to it. You don't put the steps. You just say, I'm going to do this. And
with
it's just going to...
Yeah, just manifest. Just
Yeah.
like, nope. So yeah, we'll lean into that whenever we come back. Then we'll talk about your book, of course.
Yeah, I had, I took a picture. I want to talk about SMART goals.
Oh yeah, we live by those.
Yeah.
So let me see your book. I know you have it on here. We can borrow it just for a second, y'all.
And that's what the whole book is about, the different types of bondage. I give examples with bondage that I've personally gone through or what I've seen in others. There's research in there and there's actionable steps on how to get past that and how to ultimately get freedom. So the first 9 chapters are different types of bondage: people pleasing, sex, debt, all types of stuff. And then the last 3 are how you overcome it. Forgiving, freedom is found in Christ.
I love it. Is this your first book? Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Published author. Nothing like
I'm so excited.
published author. Yes. I love it.
I have scriptures in there too, deliverance scriptures.
Is this a poem back here? Okay.
It's a poem.
Oh, you wrote this? All right, y'all gonna have to get the book. You have to get me. Put it up close to here. This is Freedom by Tiffany Rene. Love it. We just enjoying the song, honey. Receiving. I'm telling you, we just enjoying this song.
Oh yeah, I'm over here. I just start crying and stuff. That's why I took the headphones off. You cannot listen
Because
to
it
that
takes
song.
you back.
Whew.
Man.
Oh
Which
my
is why
gosh.
it's so important to have those quiet moments and those times of reflection, because with the busyness of life, it's not that you forget, it's just not as visible as it needs to be to keep you kind of going.
Why I play about my morning routine.
Ooh.
And that's like one of the number one, that's why I was talking about things that I teach women.
And that's, I'm going to talk what are some obstacles do you see holding people back from their personal growth, and definitely having that routine and having things already non-negotiables in place to where they can say, okay, it's time to grow.
Seriously.
It is time to grow.
But a lot of it is, I would say the number one thing I see is procrastination. And it's hard to get over that if you don't deal with the root, which is fear. Fear is the root. You're not doing it yet. You put it off because you're scared. So.
That's so true. Because it is fear. Is the volume okay? Does she sound okay with the mic? Does she sound okay with the mic? Or is it a little bit distance? Okay.
I'll turn it up.
Okay.
So it's
It'll
still
pick
kind of
up.
balanced.
Okay.
Okay.
If you
I'll speak up.
pull it up a little bit.
Oh,
Like closer to your mouth.
that'll probably help. How do I?
this doesn't raise.
Oh.
So, yeah, tilt it.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Yeah.
Now it's actually at my mind.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
We can fade to the commercial. Okay.
Oh, yeah, commercial.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, that procrastination, it is a root of fear.
Yes.
Because you're avoiding what you're uncertain about and you can't control. And it's like, oh, let me just hold off on that. Only, making it worse because what you're avoiding will still need to be addressed.
Exactly.
So, yeah. And that was No Bondage by Jubilee Worship. Listen, if you're just now tuning in, you are listening to the In the Know radio show with your girl, Michellita Taylor. Thank you so much for joining us. And live in the studio, I have Tiffany Rene, who is a resilience and growth expert. She is the founder of the nonprofit organization H.E.A.R.T Foundation, and she is the owner of H.E.A.R.T to Empower Counseling Services. Thank you again for being here.
Thank you.
We have been having some great conversation, and so we're going to kind of get into some meat right now. We kind of did a little prelude, kind of set up the stage during the first half, and so now we really want to make sure that the audience can get some takeaways, because again, it is still the beginning of the year. We're still setting some boundaries. We're setting some plans in place so that way this 2025 year can be very impactful, not only just for ourselves, but for those around us. So what would you say is a common obstacle that people use or that you see that they have that holds them back from growing or even just moving forward?
Yeah, I would say procrastination is the number one that hinders people from moving forward, whether it's you want to grow career-wise or in ministry or just any personal, professional goals. It is a huge hindrance.
Why do you think that is?
I think because they don't understand the root. So they'll say, you know what, I'll get to this Monday. Yeah. Well, we're always starting on Monday.
Monday, the first of the year.
Top of the next quarter. We just keep putting it off. And sometimes we'll gradually okay, I'll work on it. But if you don't address the root of something, it's going to keep coming. It's going to keep bothering you. And the root of procrastination and avoidance is fear. Yeah. I am afraid that this is not going to work out. That I'll be ashamed in front of people when it doesn't work out. Yeah. I'm going to fail. I'm not going to do it right. So let me just put it off because I can't worry about that right now.
How can somebody work through that? Because I am a victim of that. I'm just going to wait. I need to make sure everything's in place. And by this time next week, I'll have everything in place so that I can get started. It's like you're prepping to start something. But not to say preparation isn't important, but it is almost like just that excuse. You're pushing and delaying something that can be really done right now. Why do you think that is?
I think what helps with that is actually making a plan and having a system. We need to have an accountability system. Yeah. This is what I'm doing, and whether it be a friend that's kind of on the same level as you are, it can't be someone who's not doing anything either, because they're like, girl, don't worry about that.
Right, come on, let's go out. Let's go get something to eat.
They'll help you procrastinate.
Right.
Not because they don't love you, they just don't want to see you stressed or whatever it is, but they're actually hindering you too. Yeah. So having an accountability partner that's the same level that you're on, or investing in yourself, getting a mentor, a life coach. Every coach has a coach. Yes. Every mentor, every millionaire has had coaches in their life that has helped them to propel at an accelerated rate. But you could go the slow route and continue to procrastinate because you don't think. For me, I like to talk to people who've done something I want to do. What mistakes did you make? So I don't
have to do them. Yes.
And what helped you? And so that way I can move at a quicker speed. Right. Because now I have wisdom. now I have knowledge. I know what works and what doesn't work.
And it's almost like you really have to be honest with yourself, because you know we can convince ourselves of some good excuses. Well, you know I have this, and you know this. You know I gotta rest. I gotta make sure I'm not extending myself too much. I need to. Well, you know this came up. You know this was important. I had to show up. You know we can really be convincing to ourselves when you're just lying to yourself, and you're not even giving yourself all that you really can, what you deserve in terms of really pushing that green light and saying, you know what, no, today I'm gonna do this. Whenever someone does acknowledge that they haven't been honest, they do recognize, this is something that I am afraid of that may not work. What is something that they can maybe see along the way? Because I know I'm a kind of a rewards-based person. I like to see, ooh, that worked. Yes. I'm a checklist person. I get 3 to 5 checks out of a list of 5. Ooh, I feel fulfilled. So those of us and just people in general who may say, I'm scared, but I know it's this time of year. I told myself this year I want to do some things differently. What is something practical that they could do today just to kind of see that this is possible? It's not, the fullness of what you're working towards overnight, but today, practically, we can do some steps, and this is a way that you're able to measure to see some of your success.
Yeah, I would say writing down those goals. So this is the vision that I have. This is what I want to do. That's great. But what are the steps that you need to take to get there? Yeah. And then we're breaking it down into small steps. And so now it gives you an opportunity to celebrate the small wins. Hey, I did this step. This step is leading me closer to accomplishing this goal. Yeah. I'm making progress. That helps you, and it just empowers you to continue going, because I'm seeing progress. I'm checking off those things on the list. Yeah. But if you just have the vision and you just have the goal, this is what I want to do, it is overwhelming. It is. Because you don't have everything, you don't have a plan. It's just, I'm going to get this done. I'm going to lose 30 pounds this year, and there is no plan. Yeah. I'm just going to go to the gym, but you haven't changed the way you eat. Right. You have no discipline. And so if you're emotionally led, they pissed me off at work, so I ain't going. Right. I ain't going. It's over. I need a rest day. The excuses start coming in because you don't have a plan. No, 4 times a week for the next 3 months. Is measurable. Yeah. I'm going to be at the gym. Yeah. And even looking to see why is it that this is important to you, and and valuing yourself to know you deserve this. Yes. Because there is going to be a greater benefit from just checking off the list. Exactly. You may have more money. You may have more time. You will feel more healthy. You will extend the longevity of your life. Those are big value-based rewards that we need to say, you know what, I deserve this. This is what God came for, the abundance of life. This is what He wants me to have, but there is a part that we play. Exactly. There is definitely a part that we play. So with it being January 18th, I'm sure a lot of people may have come into the year with New Year's resolutions, which is very common. But we had this kind of debate, what resolutions versus goals. So which do you lean towards? I think I know the answer already, though. Definitely goals. Yeah. The definition of a resolution, it is the decision that you make to do or not to do something. So that is amazing. You made the decision. Go you. Wow. Yeah. And just like that, it's done. Yeah. Not all of us have that benefit. So goals, you can really break it down. Okay, this is my number 1 goal for the year, and now I'm going to write down my objectives. How do I get there? How am I able to attain that goal? And something, a tool that I like to use with people is called SMART goals. It's an acronym. Oh, yeah. And so the S is for specific, clearly define what you want. Don't write a vague goal. Yeah. The M is for measurable. So you want to add some numbers, like I was saying, 4 times a week for the next 3 months. You're adding numbers to it. It helps you to stick to it. The A is for achievable or attainable. Is this even realistic? Right. Right. That's the honesty part. Ourselves. Yes. Is this goal realistic? And even if you're not sure, maybe even ask somebody, because that accountability piece, or somebody, like you said, has already reached a goal or they're where you want to be, really being vulnerable and open to say, hey, you know what? I've been noticing that you've been slimming up. How did you do it? What is it? I'm not sure. I know this is what I want to do, and I've watched you.
can you give me some advice? So that way they can even help you to make that goal look realistic and attainable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. The R is for relevant. Does this align with, your personal values, with what it is that you want to do? And then T is time. You add a deadline.
The deadline.
Keep yourself accountable.
And if you don't reach the deadline, you just create another deadline.
Yeah. You just pivot. I mean, in life, you got to pivot.
Yeah, I love that. What are some of your goals this year?
My goals this year is really to 3 times what I'm already doing. And so all the speaking engagements that I had, 3 times it. I want to have a broader reach. I want to have 3 times more clients this year. So my goal is to continue doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
3 times it.
Times 3.
Yep.
Times 3. I love that. And with that, I'm sure your latest book, your first book that you've written is going to definitely propel you to that. This is Freedom, From Bondage to Breakthrough, a guide to true freedom. Congrats again on that publication. Tell us about it.
So this is Freedom. I love this book, not just because I wrote it.
But it's a blessing when you can read your own work and say, if I didn't write it, it still blesses me. Yeah.
There's been times I went back and read a chapter, I was like, wow. But it is a book, and it breaks down different things that hinder us in life, different things that keep us in bondage. We don't even realize it's bondage.
Yeah.
Right? We're thinking, oh, this is just normal life. And it talks about I use research that I pulled, also the definition of what it is. And I also use real life examples, how I dealt with these, how I was bound by these.
Yeah.
And so that helps you even broaden your perspective. Like, okay, this is how this was affecting her. How did it affect me in my life?
Yeah.
Is this something that I currently deal with or I've dealt with before? And then there's steps on how to become free from these things, how to be delivered from these things. So I use actionable steps, practicality plus faith.
Let's talk about that deliverance piece.
Okay.
Deliverance, that I don't really hear that word used a lot in the mental health field. Overcome, maybe it's not as impactful. Cured, those types of words. But in the realm of deliverance, where does that fit in?
I think it depends on the topic. I mean, if you're bound from something, that means if you visually go there with me, it's like you're wrapped up in chains. You're wrapped up. You are stuck in this situation. You are locked up in a room and you can't get out. And deliverance is that door opening for you and you dropping those chains and walking out. So it can happen for little things or big things. It could be like the people pleasing we were talking about earlier. Or it could be lust. It's affected you your entire life.
So that bondage to deliverance and walking in true freedom.
Yes.
I love that. What is one of your favorite parts of your book? I know there's a lot, but I would say because every day and every week brings something different. So there might be something that you have to pull on and be like, ooh, now this week, this part really helped me to work through this situation. What is something, that'd be, so specific, but what is it something that you can recall that, man, this week, I know that this element really helped me to push through?
I would say the most powerful thing in here, I don't know if I can talk about that on here.
Stay tuned to the After in the Know show.
I would say the lies of me, myself, and I. That's a good one that I'll touch on. Because a lot of times it's pride, but we don't realize it is. We just like, oh, I can do bad all by myself. Or I got this, or people weren't there for me. I'm going to go get it myself. I know how to do it. I don't need no new friends. I don't need to link up with anyone. I don't need to meet anybody new.
Yeah.
And that mindset hinders us so much. Wow. Why is it so hard for you to walk up to somebody, a woman who's doing what you're doing, what you want to do, and ask her for advice? Get to know her, take her out to coffee. Why is it so hard? Why is it so hard for you to join a support group, to Go to a networking event and meet people that you can collaborate with. But no, we just want to do our own events. We don't want to collaborate with other women. We're intimidated. Or we may be struggling with imposter syndrome ourselves. Like, do they even want to talk to me? And I just think that isolation, if the enemy can keep you isolated like that and keep you in your own thoughts, you're forever bound.
So what is one of the tips that you saw in your book that said, snap out of it? This isn't the right way of thinking. You do need to connect. You should reach out to that person. You should buy them coffee. You should ask them that question. What was the changing point, the moment of like, oh no, I'm going to ask them?
Addressing the root of that. Where does that belief come from that all you need is you? There is nobody successful that made it by themselves.
Not even Jesus.
Correct.
Jesus had disciples.
Exactly. But where does that, was there trauma in friendships? Was there, finding out that root? And so in the chapter I go through talking about different scenarios where that could have stemmed from. So now that we find out that root, these are the things, the steps that we can, take to be delivered from that root.
And that one right there is pretty heavy in the times that we live in, because everybody is somebody, right? Everybody has something. Everybody has a business. Everybody has an influence, a following. So it would make one seem a bit intimidated, or to say, you know what, I don't want to be rejected. I don't want them to think that I'm trying to be like them. So I'm not going to ask them. I'm just going to try to figure this out, when that isn't the way, because they asked somebody. They collaborated with someone. And I think it's just normalizing what connection looks like. It's normalizing the fact that if it is something that you're able to do on your own, it's probably not God, because God calls us to always do something that is so much bigger than us. So if I'm stuck, probably because I'm trying to do too much on my own. So I need to, and I'm speaking to myself, because I've dealt with that in the past as well. If I don't know, pick up the phone and call and ask, hey, this is something I'm doing now. I don't know much about it. How can you help me?
And it's okay. If that person
it's strength. Like, that's where the strength comes from, to say, I don't know, but I know you do. So can you help me?
And if that person rejects you, if that person says, hey, no, matter of fact, I charge for that. You can't even. I gatekeep. If they want to gatekeep, there's somebody else. And pray, Lord, I know that you've given me this vision to do this. I need you to connect me. Divine connections. Connect me to my destiny helpers. Who do I need to connect with to get this work done?
And he'll do it.
He sure will. I'm telling you, the first expo that I did, I was like, I was dealing with imposter syndrome then. I was like, I just got here to Jacksonville. Who's going to come? They don't know me. Who's going to be a speaker and all that? And I was just like, listen, I told you yes, so I'm going to go with it. I'm going to just try. And I'm telling you, I kid you not, people were helping me. They didn't even know why they were helping me. They didn't know me from anywhere. They just felt led to help me. They're like, okay, do this, go talk to this person. I was like, okay. And sure, I'll be a speaker. No, I won't charge. I understand it's a community. And I'm just like, wow. And these were like women that are like heavy hitters. I'm like, okay. Wow. I see what you're doing, God.
I see you, God. And I'm with you. I am with you. Okay, so one more song. A little bit. We might not even get to the whole one. She actually helped me or introduced this new artist to me, Mr. Forrest Frank. No Longer Bound. Tell us a little bit about it so we can hear some.
I love this song. It's an upbeat, lightweight song. If you want to just vibe, you don't want to hear the slow worship. It's a mid-tempo, upbeat song. And you can really vibe to it. But what I love it is he's explaining that he was once bound. And Christ came in, and now I'm no longer bound. And I definitely asked everybody to go watch the video. Because in the video, he had this whole thing that he was going to do. And he said, right before they were about to release it, God told them to go down a different route. And literally everybody is holding up posters saying, I almost committed suicide, or I was dealing with lust, or I was dealing with this. And they turn it around and it says, I am no longer bound. It is so powerful.
I love
so powerful.
So listen and enjoy No Longer Bound by Forrest Frank. Hey. Oh man, so good. So good. This has been so good. This has been good. I'm gonna have to have you back because we're almost out of time.
Oh my gosh, time went by quick.
And it's so crazy because I'm trying to decide if I want to keep it with just the one guest or do two, but I'm like, I have to keep it at one right now because every episode that we do, it's just like this. And it used to be 4 songs. It used to be 4. I'm like, no, just tell me. I'll choose the 2 of the 4 because the conversation is so good and meaty that it's like I don't want to interrupt the flow of it because it's so good. But this is good. I am so glad that we connected. This is just the beginning.
I was just gonna say, I'm sure it's not the only thing. I'm sure.
This is just the beginning.
You're a great host.
Oh, thank you. I love it. It's like you said, it's when you say yes to God and you're just not sure. You're just like, okay. He just brings all the pieces together. And I'm enjoying the ride.
Beautiful.
I am just enjoying the ride. Even this part, the Facebook part, is that whole, it's a growth part for me. Because I, too, suffer with perfectionism and have everything else together. And I need to edit it. My hair needs to be right.
Exactly.
All these things, like, no. People need to see the progress, just like you have been inspired to see people's growth through a process. Allow them around on the ride with you as you continue to evolve in this space. Because this is, I've done radio not full time like this, consistent like this, but I've done, some media type stuff, but this is brand new. And so I was like, you know what? I want people to see, and I want to see, 10 years from now, like, I remember
you see the progress from there. But you're so right. Because I had this fear of going live for the longest time. I was like, I'm not saying anything, just pictures. Maybe I'll do a picture. Yeah. And then I get
because you can control it. Yeah. Snap it, edit it, crop
it. And it's just like, what are you really afraid of, Tiffany? What are you really afraid of? It is so good. So since it's your first time hearing him, you gotta listen to God is Good afterwards.
God is Good? I'm gonna just listen
to
him
and Caleb Gordon.
God is Good. Okay.
He's so good.
Okay. I'm gonna vibe out with him. I'm gonna vibe with him the rest of the day, I can tell. So we're just gonna come back in because we only got about 5 minutes. Can't believe it. Give some advice to somebody who's wanting to get into being a life coach maybe, or even someone who may need a life coach. And then what you have coming up. How can people keep up with you and support you and get in your book and all those types of things? Okay. And that was Mr. Forrest Frank, No Longer Bound. I love that. Yes. It did have like a little bop to it. So right. I like that. Whenever you listen to the music. But good and weighty still. Just letting us know that we are free. We don't have to walk in bondage. We don't have to walk in chains. Listen, even by faith sometimes, even whenever it feels like nothing has shifted, we can still, out of our mouth, confess that we are no longer bound. And so as you are continuing the beginning of this year, you're setting intentions, you are setting goals, things that are smart, things that are attainable. Make sure that you are sharing, and I'm going to go off cuff a little bit, share with your family and friends what you're working towards. Because I've noticed that just letting them in, not just posting on social media, call them up. Say, listen, I'm really trying this year to start this business. I'm really trying to start this line, and this is what I need your help in. Just call me. Check on me. Say, hey, did you make that phone call? Did you create that? Whatever it is, because they become even invested in what it is that you're trying to obtain, and they too can share in the celebration whenever it's done.
Exactly.
Such a great feeling.
They're a part of your system. Your accountability.
So it's now I'm going to do a little bit of advice now. So a little bit of advice. So what advice would you give to someone who they're listening to this broadcast right now and they're saying, you know what, I know I need some help. I probably need to get a life coach. I don't know if I want to get a life coach. Why would you tell them to go ahead and get a life coach or to get someone to help support them along the way?
Yeah, it's so important because you're going to get there. That's something that you're supposed to do. You're going to get there. But if you get a life coach, you're going to get there 10 times faster. 10 times faster, because now you have someone that, first of all, now you're investing in yourself. So if you are investing in yourself, you're going to stick to that thing because I'm paying for this,
right?
You know,
right?
And there's something that feels good about investing in yourself, especially for people who invest in other people's dreams and who do all these different things, but they kind of put themselves last. This is a season for you to prioritize you.
Yeah. And
you investing in yourself is a way to do it.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that because you will get that return.
Oh, yeah.
That's a return that we can almost automatically see a return in. I love that. So what has been the most fulfilling joy that you've had on this journey so far? Because you've been doing this for a while. And I know there's been some highs and some lows, but what is one of the things that's happened during this journey that you just sat back and you just laughed, where you're like, God, I cannot believe this really happened. Like, you really did this. Or you say, Tiffany, girl, you really made that happen. You really did it. What was the last thing that you can recall that put that grin on your face that just had you say, wow?
I would say the event I just did at Turks and Caicos. The morning before it, I would spend my time in devotion and prayer, and I was like, God, I'm really here. I really got fluid out. You know, so I think that, and just seeing how the women took what we were saying. So we did, after I talked about the different types of bondage and what's holding them back and giving them steps so that they can make sure they thrive in 2025, we did an activity where I had people write down, based on the things that we talked about, what are the things that have personally been holding you back. So they had to write down like 3 to 4 things, and then there was like kind of like a soul train line where they all went down and they ripped it up. They got upset with the things that have been holding them back, and they look in the mirror at what they look like now. This is who I am now, now that these things aren't holding me back. And they turn around and walk back to their spot, and every woman in there praised them.
Wow.
Every woman in there congratulated them.
I love that.
And that you could just see the release that was taking place as they ripped up those sheets of paper that had, these are the things that have been holding me back. So that whole experience, that was mind blowing for me. I was like, God, you really did that.
Yes. He said, I have a plan for you, girl.
Yes.
I just need that yes. Oh, my goodness.
Yes. And what if I didn't say yes?
Yeah.
What if I didn't make actions? What if I was like, no, God, this dream is too big. I don't deserve to be here. They're not going to want to listen to me. I'm scared. What if I didn't say yes?
Yeah. So speak to that person right now that's listening, that is having that type of feeling where they're battling saying yes.
Yes. I want to tell you that you are the person that have been appointed for this time. You are the person, when you are dealing with fear, when you're scared of going forth in what you know you've been called to do, it doesn't just affect you.
Yeah.
You're affecting, there are souls that are waiting for you. There are people, clients, customers that are waiting for you. What you have, they need in their life.
Yeah.
And when you continue to procrastinate and you continue to say, oh, I can't do that, or what if this happens, you're furthering them from getting what they need. And so it's bigger than you. If God called you to do something, you already have everything you need. He's already equipped you with everything that you need to go forth in what you're supposed to do. So you got to push back fear. I make people say fear will not consume me.
That's right.
You have authority over that fear. That's right. Fear is not a God. And so what helps me stay out of fear is reminding that it's more than just me. Yeah. It's more, you're not alone. Yeah. It's not just you. If God told you to do it, he's going to be with you every step of the way.
I love that. Oh, everybody, that was Tiffany Rene. Oh my goodness, the founder of the H.E.A.R.T Foundation and Here to Empower. How can people keep in contact with you so that way they can know what you have coming up?
Sure. You can follow me on all social media platforms at H.E.A.R, the number 2 Empower. So my entire purpose is in my handle.
I love it.
Yes, Here to Empower. I can also be reached at IamHereToEmpower@gmail.com.
All right. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the In the Know radio show. I told you every Saturday it is my goal, it is my mission to bring you guests that will inspire you, that will inform you, and that may entertain you as well. Join us every Saturday from 1 to 2 p.m. with your girl, Michellita. Keep up with me by going to my website at www.tailormadevoices.com. Have an incredible Saturday, and we'll see you next week. I am so excited about this song. My brother did this track. I finally got a song for this show, and my cousin did it for me, and we're gonna premiere it next Saturday.
It's playing.
It's the song that I'm playing next week. But the beat, we got the beat going, so I was like,
okay.
But you were incredible. Turks and Caicos. Hey y'all, we finna go because we finna chit chat. Thank you so much for joining us. Like I said last week, the Going Live is coming to an end very soon. So please, please, please download the app. I will let you know how you're able to watch all of the In the Know shows. That way you will not miss any of the episodes. But thank you for your support, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
In the know, 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 in the know. This is the place to be. Turn your radio station to victory. Where the Spirit of the Lord is liberty. Tune in to the station that set you free. Woo! We going up right now. Please tune in, don't touch that dial. We so blessed that you wanna know how, not talking. We just living out loud.